Niners pay Brock Purdy $265 million, $181 in total guarantees, $77 million in a signing bonus. Paid more than Lamar. He's paid more than Mahomes. He's now paid more than Jalen Hurts and Justin Herbert. Is it a mistake? The Niners selling, I believe, 6 to 7% of their franchise yesterday in order to pay for this is what a lot of people are saying. It is ironic they sell 6-7% of their franchise and announce this deal the very next day, kind of telegraphed. And you got to ask yourself, are you paying for something you can't afford? Is this like putting Brock Purdy on a credit card? Essentially selling 6% of the franchise and then buying Brock Purdy for $265. We'll talk about it. Phone lines are open. Niners are in shambles, man. This is not... Look, I get you need to pay your quarterback. I get it, but let the man play out one more year. Find out what he's really worth. You didn't need to sign him to an extension. He was Mr. Irrelevant. You know, I'm not saying he's irrelevant now. Don't twist my words up, but he was under contract. He was under contract. You had him sign for another year. You could have franchise tagged him next year to hold him in place, get a deal done if you didn't play him on the tag. But this is a wild situation. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
So, yeah, no one's saying that signing Brock Purdy is a bad thing. No one's saying the Niners have better options on the table, although you could have drafted Shedeur if you wanted and started the whole thing over. And you can act like you know what you're talking about with Shedeur Sanders. I really could care less. My phone line's open in a few minutes if you want to call in and debate me on Shedeur and tell me how wrong I am on Shedeur. So, we'll have that conversation later. I really don't care right now to have it with you. But the Niners are in a situation where they've overpaid George Kittle, who's old, maybe has the 1 year left, could drop off this year. They overpaid Christian McCaffrey last year. He broke. And now they're paying Brock Purdy when they didn't necessarily need to. And at the end of the day, it's a gross misuse of your funds when you have literally other things you need to worry about. This is a team that had a window to win a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy, mind you, with Brock Purdy. And now all of a sudden they let half their players go. Their defense doesn't look the same. They lose so many players that help that window stay open. They sign George Kittle, tie up all this money to old man George, tie up all this money to Brock Purdy, sell 6 to 7% of the franchise yesterday to be able to put Brock Purdy on a credit card. And you could have, now before any of you say things like Smitty, they had to do this. Smitty, it's not that crazy. He's like the 7th highest paid quarterback in the league. Smitty, not that wild. You didn't need to do it. You could have walked right up to Brock Purdy and said, you're not getting paid right now. We'll give you a little bit of a bump. We'll give you a 1 year adjusted $5 million little hand-me-down. And you're going to play out your contract because you're the last pick in the NFL draft and you need to prove yourself. He didn't prove himself last year. He may have proved himself the year before when you propped him up like Weekend at Bernie's with the most unbelievable roster you could possibly have. You go to the Super Bowl, you fail. You fail in the Green Bay game, you fail in the Detroit game, you fail in the Super Bowl game. 3 straight games where Brock Purdy didn't exactly deliver. He did save this team on a number of plays, especially in the Green Bay game, but didn't play well throughout the entirety of it. Didn't play well last year. Had a lot of injuries on the team. I get it. But you need to walk in and say to Brock Purdy, you either sit on the bench, you're Mr. Irrelevant. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to really hold out? How do you hold out if you're Brock Purdy? You can't. So you're going to play on your last year. It might screw us in 2026 offseason when we got to sign you to an even bigger deal. And that's on us, Brock. We'll take care of that. We'll pay the price. But right now, we have a window to win a Super Bowl. So instead of letting all your players go, you re-up, you reload with what you got, and you go in for a shot. Now you don't. Now you give Brock Purdy a lesser team. You don't know if this offensive line is going to hold up. You didn't draft anybody on the offensive line. It's not a recipe for success. And you essentially put this on a credit card because you sold 6% of the franchise to pay for Brock Purdy. This is wild. Let's see. Let's see. We'll open the phone lines in a minute, but let's break down the numbers and then we'll have an open phone line. Brock Purdy, once Mr. Irrelevant, signs a new deal that will pay him $53 million per year. Hell of a story, and it is. And no one's saying Brock Purdy doesn't deserve to be on a contract, but is this the right move for the 49ers? Is this the right move right now? Maybe a contract after one more year of proving himself. $77 million in a signing bonus that's paid a little over 3 years later. He gets a very relevant $265 million extension after being the last pick in the NFL draft. This is a $265 million contract extension and $181 million in total guarantees, including $165 million in the first 3 new years of the deal, and it runs through 2030. They're committed. They're pot committed to Brock Purdy. They're pot committed to Brock Purdy. What would I have done? I would have drafted Shedeur Sanders. Maybe not even to start him. Maybe just to say, Brock, we got Shedeur. We got Shedeur. You guys can laugh at Shedeur all you want. He looks great right now. And he's humble right now. Since the draft, Shedeur's done everything right. You can call in and complain and moan and scream and tell me how wrong I am. But this team is making a move that they don't necessarily have the support, the surrounding supporting cast, in order to make him successful right now. I think this could go very badly. I think you could break Brock Purdy because you don't have an offensive line, in my opinion, that can protect him well enough. This is wild to me. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to get paid. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to get an extension next offseason. I'm not saying any of that. But for the 49ers and their situation and their predicament, this is not the right move. Not right now. The right move is to make Brock Purdy wait one more year. Look, no one's saying because he's Mr. Irrelevant, he needs to wait. But he is Mr. Irrelevant. He was. Now he's not. He was Mr. Irrelevant. He deserved money, but there was a situation where you say, look, this is a business. You still got a lot to prove. You didn't prove it last year. A lot of that's on us. We didn't support you properly. A lot of injuries happened, but you didn't prove that you deserve $65 million. You did not prove last year. Brock Purdy did not prove that he was worth $181 million in guarantees, $77 million bonus, and a $265 million extension. He did not. You can say what you want. You could say, oh, but everybody needs a quarterback. You have him. He's under contract. But Smitty, we needed to pay him. You didn't. He's under contract. He was. He's under a new contract now. But a couple hours ago, if you said, Smitty, we have to pay him, you don't. You don't have to pay him. Smitty, he could hold out. He won't. He wouldn't have held out. He would not have held out. He would have lost his job, thus lost his springboard into 2026 to even get a deal. So Brock Purdy he had no leverage. But the Niners and Jed York said last offseason, we're going to hold a blank check available for Brock Purdy. You did not need to sign him. Phone lines are open.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dial in to the phone lines, brought to you by the Attic.shop. Go get your Attic apparel, ladies and gentlemen. Phone lines are open. I expect it to be a little bit of a back and forth on this one. But I think a lot of the Niner fans in here are going to feel a little differently about this situation than other people. And again, make no mistake about it. If Brock Purdy goes out this year, this is all hypothetically in the rear view, but if he had not signed this new deal, he had to go out there, prove himself And then he would have got it. And it would have been worth it. He would have been somebody that deserved it. And I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to get paid. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be a starter in the NFL. I'm not saying any of those things. I'm saying for the 49ers, this is not a good decision. And you shouldn't buy things that you have to put on the credit card anyway. That's a total rule of thumb in life. And selling 6% of the franchise yesterday is definitely a reason why, that this doesn't make sense. Okay, go ahead, Justin. You're live.
Yeah, man, I agree with everything you're saying, man. I just don't know what you're gonna do now that he's signed that, like, because the whole basis of the strength of your team was you weren't paying that position, and you were able to, like, divvy out assets to everything else. Like, you made a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, why do you feel like you need to pay Brock Purdy? You know,
you don't. But the thing is, you don't. For anybody out there, and you can certainly call in, a couple of you out there saying, Smitty, this isn't a big deal. He's only the seventh paid quarterback. I don't think you're understanding the concept here. The concept is exactly what Justin just said. For this team, it doesn't make sense. You had him already under contract. You could have given him a little bit of a bump, whatever, but you had him under contract and you had to let the entire team go. This is not the same team. This is now a JV team instead of the varsity team, and now you just paid Brock Purdy. You didn't have to pay Brock Purdy. You could pay him. I'm not saying he's not worth paying or retaining. I'm saying right now, for the 49ers and their situation and their window, which was still open, but was closing rapidly, you did not need to, nor should you have paid Brock Purdy this year. You make him play one more year. He was Mr. Irrelevant. He can earn it a little bit more. Go out there and prove himself. Surround him with the best talent that could help support him. If you kept everybody on roster, he would have had a good year and thus would have earned even more money in 2026. There's no argument here. You're wrong. If you think Brock Purdy should have got this deal, you are wrong. He didn't need to get paid now. He was under contract. He had not proven it in 2024. So one more year, prove it. He would have got more money, and the Niners would have paid more money, and it would have been the end of the story. Like, they pay a little more, the cap goes up, so it would have washed. But you put on a credit card Brock Purdy. You sold 6% of the 6 or 7% of the franchise yesterday to afford Brock Purdy. You put Brock Purdy on a credit card. I don't want to hear that this was the right move because of this, and the other. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be on a contract, to get paid, to get a bonus. Not saying he's not deserving of being a starting quarterback in the NFL. None of those things are relevant when you say, should the Niners in this situation with the window that was still cracked open, got rid of all their players and mortgaged their a part of their franchise to go get Brock Purdy now? The answer is no. The answer is no. There's no debating this. Go ahead, Justin. One more comment.
Yeah, like, the leverage of it is, like, just, they completely just misread the leverage. To me, he had no leverage. Like, this is like if the IRS called you up and they were like, hey, you owe, like, $5,000, right? But you don't have to pay it till, like, 2027. And you were just like, oh, let me go out and get a loan. And they were like, at the loan thing, they were like, well, it's going to be like 17% on that loan. Okay, I'll take it. I got to pay the IRS. Then you pay the,
all right.
Like,
okay,
like,
Justin, all right.
Like,
yeah.
What is the urgency? Like, where is the urgency?
Yeah, there is no urgency. All right, hold on, Justin. Let me see. We got a 615 caller on the line. 615, you're live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, Smitty? This is Jonah. I'm calling from Houston.
What's up, my boy?
I'm having trouble hearing you there.
What's going on?
Yeah, man. I just
all right. You gotta be prepared. You gotta be prepared. We're gonna have a new regime on here. If you don't, and it's just no offense to anybody that calls in, but if you don't get to your point, I'm gonna have a little highlight of a red box that goes around here. And when we hit that mode, we're in serious mode. And if you dance around about how you doing, what's your mom been doing lately, How, can you hear me okay? You're just going to get hung up on immediately. It's no offense, but it's go time. It's go time. We have no time for all these little things, the ins and outs of the phone line. If you're ready, you're ready. If you're not, you got hung up on. I don't mean it in the wrong. You can call back, but if you're not prepared, you're getting hung up on. There's no, Smitty, am I coming through okay? Hey, Smitty, how's your day today? This is serious mode. So anybody that calls in, get straight to your point or you're getting hung up on. And that's no offense to anybody in here. Purdy, good that boy is, says we are. Bro, I don't know what you're even trying to say. Okay, dial in. Let's try this again.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Let's try this again. Here is another graphic that I will put up on display here that's pretty important for the conversation at hand. Purdy, $53 million. Top 49er players by average annual salary. Nick Bosa, $34 million. Brandon Ayuk, $30 million. Trent Williams, $27.55. Kittle, $19.1. Fred Warner, $19. This team, $19 million to Christian McCaffrey. This team is paying through the nose on several players. This was not the time. This was not the time to pay Brock Purdy, who is deserving of being a starting quarterback in the National Football League. Of that, I'm not debating. Of that, I'm not sitting here trying to say he's not a starter. I'm not trying to tear down Brock Purdy. This is not. You haven't heard me say a negative thing about Brock Purdy. You've only heard me say negative things about how the Niners are attacking this situation when they can't afford to do it. So 202 caller, you're live. Go. Name and where you're calling from, and then go.
The name is Index. I'm calling from DC. I agree with your points. I mean, he was still under contract, but this is a regime by Kyle Shanahan that's made decisions very hastily on certain players. I mean, he's brought in wide receivers like Dante Pettis who don't exist anymore. This seems like right up his alley. I want to lock up my guy, but there are still questions on whether he is or isn't this guy. Didn't this guy just bring in Mac Jones? That's all I want to say.
Yeah, and he's getting paid more than Mahomes, Lamar, Hurts, Herbert, which this right here shows. And that's not always like that telling because the quarterback scale is like a ladder. Even some of the lesser quarterbacks will make more than the guys before them to create a sort of bridge and ladder up their back, and then Mahomes will get an extension to go above that. And so it makes sense that can happen. But for everybody acting like
you got to be able to drive a Ferrari. Not everybody can drive a Ferrari, right? Like you got to be a good driver. Now, it's different if he's a Pinto. We might find out how good of a driver he is.
Yeah, but the thing about this situation is that it's not about Brock Purdy deserving to get a contract or play for a team or being recognized. This is about the 49ers having leverage and options to build around him to make him successful so that in 2026 he can command the contract that he's now being given. So that's what it's about. And for those who say, well, the salary goes up, the same thing was said about Jamar Chase. If you don't sign him, the salary is going to go up. And even we argued that at times. But the truth of the matter is, in hindsight, in the Jamar Chase signing this, in the T. Higgins signing this offseason, is at the end of the day, you're restarting the contracts this year. If you would have signed Jamar Chase last year and he was cheaper, and T. Higgins last year, you would have burned one of their contract years. And you would have less time to develop and build around. So you need to ask yourself, is this the right year to burn one of Brock Purdy's contract years when you're rebuilding and retooling? No. This is what people don't understand. I'm trying to tell you, this is not the time. It's just not. It doesn't matter how much you want to respect little Brock Purdy. You want to give him respect. He deserves it. Stop paying people because they deserve it and pay them because it makes sense. This is a business. You can't pay George Kittle because of what he did in the past, and that's what you did. You paid Brandon Ayuk to close the door on the situation. Kyle Shanahan even admitted he threw his arms up. He didn't even want to pay Brandon Ayuk the deal that they paid Brandon Ayuk. He did not want to pay Brandon Ayuk. They said they gave up. They gave up. They said, just get it done. They paid Brandon Ayuk $30 million. You can see it right here on the screen. You paid Christian McCaffrey for his services in the past. He's making $19 million a year. George Kittle He's getting up there in age. You can't give him an extension like you did. You're paying him for a lot of what he's done in the past. This is a business. This is a business. What are you doing? The Niners don't know what they're doing. Their allocation of resources is all jacked up. And if you think it's smart to lock Brock Purdy down now in a year that's not, whoever I just added, I'm going to knock you off the phone line because it got the background sound going. You got to be prepared. You got to be prepared. You got the show blaring in the background, and I hear it. You guys got to be prepared. Brock Purdy, $53 million. Nick Bosa, $34 million. Brandon Ayuk, what a waste, $30 million. There is, on good authority, this is not me making up a bunch of shiat. There's good authority that the Niners would absolutely cut Brandon Ayuk if he wasn't injured right now. They can't cut him. They would cut him right now to save future money and say, forget the dead cap, forget everything. We made a mistake. They would 100% cut Brandon Ayuk if they were able to do it. They're not able to do it. They can't do it. He's injured. You can't cut an injured player. So they're stuck. McCaffrey, $19 million. This is the worst. Ever since Adam Peters left, it's gotten worse. But this is the worst team when it comes to offseason personnel and contract decisions. The worst. And they're such a good team, it begs the question. Imagine if they had good offseason decision making. This team would be unstoppable. They'd have 3 straight Super Bowls at this moment in time because they have such a good team in a sense, or they did. And on the field, during the regular season at least, Shanahan's a great offensive mind. No one's arguing any of that. Like, there is a lot of talent. There was a lot of talent on this team, but their offseason decision making is putrid. And if you're a true Niner fan, you know I'm speaking fact right now. I know you want to defend your team. You want to defend how the Ayuk thing went. It went horribly. You want to defend how the Debo holdout went. That went horribly. The Bosa holdout went horribly. Signing Christian McCaffrey to a big fat bag. You know what a true Niner fan says? He deserves it. He's done so much. Kittle. They signed Kittle to a 4-year extension. He deserves it. He deserves it. That's not how you run a team. Ayuk was the biggest waste of money you possibly could have had. And then you draft Ricky Pearsall in round 1. What is this team doing? Why are Niner fans not more critical and honest about their own team? Kyle Shanahan is not making good decisions. This is also, it's not just Kyle's fault. It's John's fault too. It's the ownership's fault too for letting them make these decisions. Keeping Jimmy Garoppolo the way you did. He said goodbye in a press conference and they brought him back. This team doesn't know what it's doing in the offseason. It just doesn't. It's so wild to me how badly run this organization is in the offseason. It's just wild to me. And it's wild to me that people defend it. If you're a true Niner fan, you're scratching your head. And you say things like this. You say things like this is what a Niner fan would say. This is what I'm dealing with on a daily basis. This kind of garbage. No offense, Jolts, but this is just showing exactly what I'm saying. Niners have the easiest schedule in the NFL. This is the best time to sign Brock Purdy. You're like, let's figure it. Let's try and squeak by. We got a great schedule. This is the time to do it. No, the time to do it is when you don't want to burn one of the years. In hindsight, and I even was critical at times of the Bengals last offseason. In hindsight, I was wrong. The Bengals did the right thing. Even though the price went up a little bit, the salary cap went up. It all kind of washed out. But at the end of the day, last year was not the year for the Bengals. Last year was a building year for the Bengals. And you could say they're in the same boat. I don't agree. I think they got to get Hendrickson worked out. I get all that. But this is a year where now you get to go in on year 1 of the wide receiver contracts fresh, ready to go. You didn't burn a year last year. If you signed Brock Purdy, and you did, to a $265 million 5-year deal, and you did, and you're going to burn one of the years right now, and you will, this is not the right time to do it. Even if the cost goes up a little bit next year, doesn't matter. Oscar, you're live. What can I do for you? Go.
Me. Bottom line, bro. This is what I'm thinking. And tell me what your sentiment on this is. schedule, according to the strength of schedule, we have the easy. Let's say the Niners do win 14 games. Okay? 14 games, maybe 15. I know that's crazy, but let's say they do. All right?
15. I got my finger over the button to hang up. 15 games? What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? How blind are you right now? How blind are you? 15 wins? What are you talking about, man? This is what I'm dealing with. This is what I'm dealing with right now. 15. You call into the show and say this Niner team is depleted. It's going to win 15 games?
Okay. Well, okay. Let's reduce it down to 13 games, bro. Okay. Fine. We win 13 games. We win 13 games. Now he's on the table asking for more money. Now the criticism comes in and says, does he deserve it?
I've already addressed this. I've already addressed all this. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you want him to earn it. That's the whole point. Do you think that I want...
Finish him.
Do you think that my objective here for you as a Niner fan, trying to see this thing, is that you guys fail and have a bad year with Brock Purdy so you can get a deal? This is about building a team that could win a Super Bowl. Bro, you just answered your own question. You have the easiest schedule in the NFL. If you kept all your players... and you brought Brock Purdy back on his current contract before the signing, you would win a Super Bowl maybe. Maybe you would have 15 wins. But you just let half your team go. And you have the easiest schedule, and you just overpaid Brock Purdy. Do you understand that you just handed me the blueprint to destroy your argument? Had you kept all your players with the easiest schedule, maybe this would have been your year. But instead, you punted it. You punted your season away. And now the arguments are, well, what if we skate by? Easiest schedule in the NFL. Easy. How you win in 15 games this year? It doesn't matter if you have to pay him more. If he deserves it, he deserves it. But right now, he doesn't deserve it. That's my whole point. If he goes out there and wins you a Super Bowl and you got to overpay, good for him, and he deserves it. It is what it is. Now you know what you got. He's worth every penny. But you're paying him now because you're afraid. You're selling 6 to 7% of the franchise to afford it. You're putting him on a credit card, and then you release all this talent on the roster. Half the roster's gone, and now you want him to be successful with half the roster gone? It will cost more money. I just said that over and over, Jay. Why did you cut him off? Because it's my show, Jay. $15 wins. 15 wins. Oh, wow. You know, the Niner fan base, I love them. You guys know I got a lot of Niner fans who watch this channel, and most of them are realistic, and they know that I love Niner players. So the hatred that everyone says I have for the Niners is not true. The support I have for Niner players is always very, very abundantly clear. Guys like Mason from last year with Garendo, league winners. Garendo, Jordan James, league winners. Love Deebo Samuel more than probably any fantasy football channel on the face of YouTube. So, you know, you can come in and say whatever you want, but this is not. You're literally screaming, you know, into a wall, and no one's hearing you, or you're screaming into the wind.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
15. Let's just say we have 15 wins. Let's hypothetically say we have 15 wins. All right, Justin, final thoughts, and I'm going to clear you off the phone line.
I don't got anything else. Appreciate you, buddy.
All right, later, bro. Thanks, man. Oh, man. At this point, I'm not drafting Purdy, says DC Hogs. You guys must be easy. What's up, Terry Roberts in the building? 49ers are the easy team on everyone's schedule, says Jay Freezy. You talking about CMC gonna get hurt, that's hate. No, it's not, Jay. Jay, what are you even doing here if you don't understand the channel, let alone like the channel? I'm just asking. What do you mean? You talking about CMC getting hurt is hate. How is that hate, Jay? How is that hate talking about a man that has bilateral chronic Achilles tendonitis when my job is to tell people who to draft, Jay? It's not about hatred. We've given CMC standing ovations. We've loved CMC for years. We still love CMC. How is it hate that my job? I love it people that don't understand fantasy football. They meander on into the show, and this is a new show too. I do welcome anybody that wants to watch the show just from an NFL news perspective because we cover it better than anybody. That's why Jay's here. But when you make statements like it's hate when you say to avoid somebody because they're going to get hurt, it's only hate because you disagree with it. It's only hate because I'm talking about your player. When my objective take that I believe to be true, that is historically pretty damn accurate for the most part, my boy, especially when I said to avoid Christian McCaffrey last year at all costs when he got hurt. What do you think happened, Jay? I was right. You were wrong. I was right. You were wrong. Then what? Is that hate or was I accurate? Was I historically correct about Christian McCaffrey to avoid him because he'll get hurt? To avoid him at all costs last year, or you will get burned, and he burned you. So, Jay, is that hatred, or am I just historically correct?
You've just been Smitty disapproved.
And the phone line's open for you, Jay, if you want to call in and talk to me about it. I'm here for you. Thank you, Savage. Appreciate your support. Blackbeard is a Niner fan, and he knows what time it is. He knows I love 49er players. He knows I promoted 49er players like crazy on this channel. Future injury predictions is crazy. Well, you really don't play fantasy football, Rita. I don't know how you got in here. I appreciate you being here, but you don't understand is what it comes down to. I mean, is hate. Here, everybody hold hands. And let's hope that all players are healthy this year. We're not going to judge anybody from their previous injury history. Everybody hold hands. Don't unlock your hand, Steven. And we just hope that all of them stay healthy. And we're not going to judge a single. We're not going to judge Tua. We're not going to expect Tua to get injured. We're not going. You was wrong. You was wrong. I was wrong on Christian McCaffrey last year. Jay, was I hating when I told you don't draft Christian McCaffrey and then he got injured? Exactly like predicted. Hold hands, Steven. Don't let go. Interlock fingers, Steven. Okay. We are going to not judge anybody for their injury prowess. We've got Tua Tagovailoa. Don't worry about concussions. That would be hateful. That would be hateful. Everybody keep their hands held. We are going to draft Tua without regard of injury or concern, and let's march into the season kumbaya. Predicting injury. Where's that comment? Where's that comment? Predicting future injury predictions is crazy. Oh, you could have told me before I bought all these models. I mean, I could have saved my money if I knew that was the case, Jay. I didn't need to get all this. I didn't need to learn for 24 plus years while you were shortening your diapers about injuries so I could come in here and school you on it. But instead, you think it's crazy to predict future injuries on a show that's designed to predict future injuries? That is wild. That's like walking into the doctor's office and saying, predicting that I'm going to have bad health based on my eating habits is pretty wild, Doc. Don't you think?
You've just been Smitty disapproved.
And then comments like this from Jolts, Jolts, I don't know what you listen to, but it's not this channel. I think you got the audio on another tab going from another channel, and you're watching me going, why is Smitty's mouth off? Why does it look like it's dubbed? You're not even listening. The Purdy disrespect is the only crazy thing. I haven't disrespected Purdy one time. You're listening to a different tab. Bro, Jolts, does anybody know sign language? Jolts, you are listening to a different tab. The audio is playing from the wrong tab because this channel had no Brock Purdy hate. It had nothing. Click the other tab, Jolts. Click the other tab. This man hasn't hated on Purdy once in the show. God. Unbelievable. What is going on today? All right, the rest of the NFC. Yeah, we'll go over the NFC West. I mean, damn. I almost feel like going over the West before I finish the AFC. Man, I don't know. This is going to be wild. It might be relevant to throw the NFC West right in the mix next video. So at 8 p.m. Eastern, we might have to do it. Smitty, predicting future injuries. That's wild. That's crazy. That's hatred. Oh. All right, I will be back unless we have another phone caller real quick.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
What does Pearsall look like when Ayuk gets back? I don't think Ayuk's getting his job back at all. Ayuk, they want to cut him. I'd almost guarantee that C-Mac. You know what's funny is C-Mac's been pretty critical, and he's joking here. Don't go disrespecting the greatest QB in the league right now. C-Mac knows and has made it pretty abundantly clear that he doesn't know. You don't know what you think of Brock Purdy right now, C-Mac, right? You're a Niner page, and C-Mac doesn't quite know what to make of Brock Purdy. All I know is C-Mac probably agrees with me to some degree that this team should have maybe explored I mean, he doesn't like some of the older players that they let go, I guess, but this is not with the easiest schedule in the world. I wonder if C-Mac would press a button to revert all of the offseason and start over. Knowing what you know now, C-Mac, to retain all the players you retained, tell Brock Purdy, you're just going to wait a year. And what's he going to do? What's he going to do? Is he gonna call your bluff? Like, Brock Purdy's under contract. You make him play one more year. You have the easiest schedule. You keep all your players. Your window was still cracked open. You could have won a Super Bowl this year. C-Mac's totally joking. I know, but I know you're joking, but I want to know your opinion. If you could press a button, C-Mac, and revert the entire offseason backwards, knowing the schedule, knowing what you know right now, would you press the button, C-Mac? I just want to know. Elgin, you're live.
How you doing, Smitty? I just got a quick question. It's really not about the 49ers. I know you said you're going to be live later on, but I just want to I haven't heard you talk about them. What's your thoughts on Jaden Blue from the Cowboys? Do you think he could be a sleeper?
I think he's a sleeper, but it's to be seen whether he can carry the load the whole year in and year out. I don't know that he feels a little bit like a change of pace back, but we'll have to take a look. Size doesn't always determine that. It's just his pedigree, his resume, everything he brings to the table. Definitely a good prospect, and he should be grabbed as a sleeper, no doubt about it. But will he be a guy that plays well for 6 games and then next year he doesn't necessarily translate? The next year might be one of those guys. So like a redraft sleeper, maybe dynasty, some appeal, but there's still a lot to be proven. But let's, Javonte, it's good news for Javonte because now he doesn't have the biggest, competition. But good question, Elgin. Appreciate you.
All right,
later, bro. C-Mac says, I've been saying play him on the last year and tag him if needed. There you go, Jolts. There you go. All the 49er people in here that are thinking that I'm off base. C-Mac, my boy, part of the quad box with Raj Arsa 49ers, C-Mac, and myself and Vladdy. Part of the quad box is telling you he would not have paid Brock Purdy $265 million yet. No one's saying you shouldn't. I haven't said it once on this show. I haven't said that Brock Purdy should not be paid on the show. I said Brock Purdy should not be paid now. What I'm saying, C-Mac, a 49er page, a guy in the quad box is telling you the same thing. But some of you don't want to listen to what I'm saying. Some of you have a bunch of earwax in your ear and you can't hear what I'm saying. Or you have another tab open and you're listening to the audio of another show and you can't tell that it looks dubbed. Because I haven't said a single negative thing about Brock Purdy succeeding in the future if you surrounded him with talent. But I do worry about him getting hurt. I do worry about him being effective as he could be to earn this money in 2025 when you let a lot of the team go. And you didn't address the offensive line, which I know C-Mac is pissed off about. Is this the Purdy-geddon? Is this the Purdy-tanic, potentially? I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea how this is going to go. I just know you didn't set him up properly. You're going to burn 1 year of his contract, his new, rich, expensive contract. You're going to burn 1 year of it on this season. And you could have potentially had a Super Bowl run with the easiest schedule in the NFL, according to all the pundits. Easiest schedule in the NFL. Keep the team together. Keep the band together for 1 more year. Make Purdy play on 1 more year because he signed and he didn't deserve. He didn't earn the contract extension from his 2024 play. Why can't people understand that? He didn't earn it. Had you gone to a Super Bowl, it'd be different. You didn't in 2024. You can't pay him for 2023. The Niners got to stop paying players for the past. You don't play CMC because of what he did. You don't pay freaking George Kittle for what he did. You don't pay Brock Purdy for 2023 when he had the best supporting cast he could have had. You pay him based on the value. And Brock Purdy didn't have the value walking out of 2024. Bruce, you're live.
Hey, do you think that the owners of the 49ers were like, look, we'll let you sign for your players, but if you don't fulfill this, you're all fired, like Lynch and Shanahan and all?
You know, this is weird. Look, C-Mac and I don't always agree, but C-Mac is in here saying Smitty's spitting. You know, I feel like I've got this is like when, you know, this is when the stars align, when C-Mac and I are lined up like this. I feel like, you know, it's a full moon. Do I think everybody should be fired if this doesn't work out? No, you know what? You know what, bro? It's not going to happen. Kyle's not getting fired. They love this guy. It's recently extended. You know, I don't. Jed loves him. Jed York loves him. I don't know what's going to. This is now thought to be a semi-rebuild year. And if things go well, great. If things don't go well, you're trying to build for 2026. But even more of a reason in why C-Mac and I both agree, you align all of the contracts in all the beginnings of this new team that you're building, you're reloading for, you do it like the Bengals did it beautifully. The Bengals let this team play 1 more year on their existing contracts and let that burned year go by, and then they start over with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. And so brilliantly, in hindsight, they did this because they're staggered. One's on a 5-year, one's on a 4-year. And so you can franchise tag one and not have to franchise tag the other. And so this thing can continue on. Brock Purdy would be licking his chops and thanking his lucky stars to even play on the tag. And yet people are saying that Mr. Irrelevant, who had a bad year last year, but it's not his fault, deserves $265 million contract when he's under contract right now, and you could just let him play out the year. Now, I believe on a rookie deal I believe you could still see, Matt, correct me if I'm wrong. They could still give him a 1-year adjusted $5 million slap on the rear end and send him back out on the field, right? So you could do something like that, give him a little breadcrumb and say, here, this is for you, Brock. I believe they can do that. Correct me if I'm wrong, C-Mac, on his contract. But this is something you should have done. And not doing that, not giving this team an opportunity to allow the stars to align next year while you use this rebuilding year to get in position. And if you had to, and the franchise tag was designed when it was originally created, it was designed to hold a quarterback only in place. It wasn't meant to be used on running backs. It wasn't meant to be used on wide receivers. The NFL and NFL teams have grossly overused the franchise tag, and it's been ridiculous. But it was not originally designed for the purpose that teams are using it for. It was designed to hold a quarterback in place, work out a long-term deal. If not, then they get paid very handsomely. And so Brock Purdy's worst case scenario, he plays this year out, he earns it a little bit, the franchise tag him next year, he gets paid handsomely, and he gets to prove himself. Or they franchise tag him, they work out a long-term deal that works for both parties, and now they get a reset and a restart from 2026 after they've had 1 year of the rebuild, like the Bengals did last year with their 2 wide receivers brilliantly. Just a brilliant plan of attack in hindsight. Bruce, anything else?
No.
All right, appreciate you. Just wow, look at all the C-Mac comments on the screen. C-Mac, you're making a statement today, my pal. You're welcome to call in real quick. Keep it clean. C-Mac has a tendency to go off the rails, but Bengals aren't winning anything with that defense. Yeah, Jones, that's a good one. Hey, Smitty, I heard this on another show, and I'm going to repeat it. I'm going to repeat this, Smitty. You tell me if I'm correct in saying this. I heard this on another channel, Smith. I heard this on another channel.
Hello.
I heard that the Bengals would have to score 50 points.
He saw it on another channel. He's a repeating Roger.
He saw it on another channel. Go! He saw it on another channel that the Bengals have to score 50 points if the defenses are going to give up 51. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? Oh, yeah, the Bengals, they're going to lose 51-50 every game, Smitty. I saw it on another channel. I saw it in another channel. They're going to lose 51-50 every game. All right, we're out of here. Appreciate you. This one's for the Niners. Ship dropping a sticker in the chat. Thank you, Ship, for dropping that sticker in the chat. I'll see you all at 8 p.m. where we probably go over the NFC. I'm going to go over the NFC West. I'm going to move them ahead of schedule to break all this down. Appreciate you all. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. That's coming up here in about an hour and 10 minutes or so. Hour and 10 minutes, we'll be live. Jorge showing his Niner bias. Cardinals suck. Oh, you pierced my heart. Pierced my heart. Later, Silver. Later, Blackbeard. Look at this from Blackbeard. He's so objective. And Blackbeard, you know, and he knows he never has to agree with me on the Niners. He knows I respect his opinion. He can think whatever he wants. Niners will be fine. Did you see the schedule? Goggles. Thanks, Matt. We need to make this end of the show segment, try and get on screen with your comment type of thing. See you all. Appreciate you. See you at 8 p.m.
Got him.
Oh, wait. Hold on a second. We had some super chats. Damn it. I'm sorry. Jake, Kevin, and BBQ, you still here? I don't know how these slipped by when I was screaming and yelling. I must have missed it. Thank you, Ship, again for your super chat. BBQ said, Niners paying Purdy elite QB money when he's a system QB who can't cover up the holes on their team like JD5 did. Bad business decision. Thank you, BBQ. BBQ, you still here? Thank you. Kevin, you still here? Kevin says, appreciate the content, Smitty. I knew you were going to rip the 49ers for spending ridiculous money again. Smitty to Saturn, appreciate you. Kevin, are you still here? Kevin and BBQ, my man. Jake coming in. I think it's too much. Not worth it in that system, says Jake. Jake, thank you very much for the super chat. Hopefully I got Jake, BBQ, and Kevin still in the building. Thank you guys for the super chat. Now I'm out of here.
Got him.